Greetings, I'm Marjan from the British College. Going to give his ASE demo for the component to submission. Before we begin, I've already filled out all these sections so that we can get started with the demo right away. Except for the YouTube video link, which I'll be pasting it once I'm done recording and upload it to YouTube. Okay, sorry, I left this one out. And as for the XML documentation section, I've marked it as uploaded to the GitHub repo because we were instructed to simply generate the XML document and upload it to the GitHub repo for our component 1 submission. No further instructions were provided for this component to submission, so I'm just following the instructions given for the component 1 submission for this component to submission as well. So let's get started with the demo. Boost interfaces. I've implemented these Boost interfaces in few of my classes in the project. The first one being the app canvas, which is this iCanvas. This iCanvas is basically a Boost interface that defines what the canvas must do, and this interface is implemented by the class app canvas, which is denoted by this line or this column itself. The another class would be the rectangle class, which is this command to parameters, again implemented by the rectangle class denoted by this colon. And then another class would be the circle class, which is command one parameter. And another would be move to command to parameters. Basically, the interfaces have been implemented in various classes just with the different parameter lengths. So it's a check. I have not declared my own interfaces in my project, so I'm simply checking this as a no unit test for all my classes. This is the unit test solution or the section for my project. Here are these classes. So I'm checking this one. Unit test in all separate test classes. These are the unit tests that corresponds to the classes that I have, except for the mini interpreter class, circle class, and the rectangle class. I've excluded the unit test class for the mini interpreter because I've implemented this mini interpreter class in such a way that it changes things like variables or the canvas itself, and it is also designed to run scripts dynamically, which makes it hard to test and get the valid results. And as for the circle class and the rectangle class, I couldn't figure out the ambiguous reference issue in my project. If I were to remove one project reference from this solution, the entire unit test fails. So I couldn't figure out the issue, so I've left it. Rest every classes I have their own separate unit test class. So I'm checking them as a yes. Unit test document XML comments. Sorry. Uh, for example, in this while test class, this is the XML comments denoted by this type of comments or the pattern of the comments. This is for the while test class. This is for the pen test class, where comments are placed where needed or is appropriate. Method test class, for test class. Similarly, for the form test. When side note, for the draw to class and move to class, it is integrated in one same unit testing class because in my component one submission I did the same, meaning I implemented the unit testing in one single file. So I got confused and wasn't sure if I should break the pattern of the component one submission. So I simply roll with it and add it in the same unit test file without breaking the pattern of the component one submission. So it's in the one same test file. And similar to the app canvas test, the XML comments are placed where needed. It is felt necessary. So I'm checking it. Yes, unit test run and pass. So if I run this test, so everything is passed, expanded the test classes where everything is checked and run. So the unit test is pass. Mm, Design patterns, factory design patterns. Let me cancel this one. Factory design. I'm sure I've used this factory design pattern in my app command factory class, which is this one, this exact one. This is a factory design pattern which works by telling the command factory to give the right command object without needing to know the details. So that is the literal definition or the simplest definition of a factory design pattern. So I'm checking this. Yes, I have not used the singleton design pattern in my projects, so I'm checking it as a no. No additional designs. So moving on to the implementation. Unrestricted ins. Okay, for the variables, I've created a mini interpreter class for simplicity, which is this, the mini interpreter class. So if let me search reason declarations. So this entire reason of class reasons are responsible for the storage of the variables that will be used for that will be used for the output, that will be used to show the output from the script by running the script, and the reason commands which is till this here. These blocks are responsible for the drawing commands for the execution. Together, these two reasons, the class reason declaration and this class reason commands, are responsible to tell the canvas how to draw the shapes and where to draw the shapes. So if I run this, this is unrestricted ints, which is this one. Under the variables, unrestricted. Sorry. Now this is not the exact result as needed, which I couldn't figure out how to do it. Even the rectangle is in red color, which is supposed to be in green. However, the program runs without any issue, so I'm simply going to check that as a yes. And for the screenshots, again, we were instructed to compile all the screenshots of our output in one single Word file and upload it to the GitHub repo. So I'm going to compile all the screenshots and upload it to the GitHub repo once I'm done with the recording. So that's a yes. And then again, the similar implementation is used for the reals unrestricted, the reals one boost program. So if I simply unrestricted real boost, if I run this again in this program or the output, I couldn't figure out why the circle was still showing, which is not the expected output. And again, the program runs without any issue, so I'm simply going to mark it as a yes. Oh, and by the way, I forgot to show that the boost runs properly. Here is the boost running and the version that this project is using, boost version this project is using. So there's that. Okay, now for array. Again, for the array, I have implemented it in my mini interpreter class. Reason. There should be declarations. Okay, declarations, declare array here. This declare array here, this whole block of code is responsible for the storage of numbers and arrays. And then for the reason poke hashtag poke, sorry, there should be capital B. Oh my god. Sorry. Mm, reason. I don't know why it's not working. There should be a reason poke and peek. Oh, here it is. This reason poke and peek, which is still here. Okay, let's say till here. This block is responsible for retrieving as well as sorting the data from the arrays, and then simply the commands, which is execute pen, execute write, and this execute write till here is this simply prints the output after running the code, giving the script and everything. So if I restricted booz array, sorry, unrestricted arrays, yes, unrestricted, which is this logs. If I run this logs, now I'm not sure if this counts as expected output, because in the expected output the circles should be in red, if I'm correct. However, the programs run without any issue and the proper implementation has been done. So I'm checking that as a yes. Unrestricted if loops. If loops. Again, for the if loops, I've implemented them in my mini interpreter class. So if I again go reason, if here, reason if, okay, till here, okay, till here. This is the if loop reason, where the if line, there should be a if line I was trying to explain. Mm, okay, sorry. Here, this line is responsible for checking the conditions and calling everything that's inside the if and else block, and then the execute line, which was the down below. This execute unrestricted till here runs all the commands inside. For all the programs, the block of script to read. There should be one that's string. Okay, sorry. Okay, this block of code is responsible for the script to be read every time I fed it into the form and run it. So if I run unrestricted if run this is the output number 1 as expected, and for the output number 2, which is this one, uh, these screenshots will be compiled in one single Word file and uploaded it to the GitHub repo. So after this recording, so I'll compile it everything in one Word file and upload it in my GitHub repo. So this program works. Check as yes. Unrestricted while. For my while loop, I've created a separate class. Uh, so there should be a condition if about the script. Yeah, this is it. So this This while and grabs a condition like while index is less than 5 type of condition and stores the loop block until it reaches the end while, meaning the end of the while block in simple sense. Only when the condition is true, it runs all the commands in the script, else it keeps on running until the condition becomes false. So if I run this script on unrestricted while, unrestricted while, so if I run this, again not the exact output needed, but it executes without any error. So it's yes, unrestricted uh, for loop. Uh, Again, there's a separate class for yeah. Again, there's a separate class for my for loop. Again, the logic is very similar to the while loop. Uh, for uh, checks the condition if the index is less than 5 type of conditions, uh, and then there should be a for loop. Mm, yeah. Okay, this line or the for loop condition uh, checks or gets the start value, end value, and checks the if else condition if the loop should continue or not, depending on this step. Then the block is ran continuously while updating the loop variable. The loop ends when the value goes beyond the end variable, which is if the value exceeds this end variable, the loop ends. So if I run restricted for, this is so not the exact output required. I couldn't figure out the blue circle not showing, so I've left it as it is. So again, the program runs without any errors. So I'm checking that as a yes. Implemented else with my own code. Mm, I've implemented this else loop in my mini interpreter class, which is here inside the, I'm sure, unrestricted execute unrestricted capital E. Uh, sorry, it's around here. Unrestricted, execute unrestricted, which is this entire block. Uh, so in the sorry, uh, this is the same condition as the while loop. Checks for the condition if index is less than 5 type of, and it tells each line in the block and calls the run command, that is the run cmd, which is this one. uh, the else command works inside the unrestricted blocks because it doesn't interpret the commands itself, it just runs it. uh, so simply a yes. And then methods, again for the method, uh, there is a separate class method.cs. Here it is, method.cs. For the method, the I've defined everything properly, but whenever I try to run it, I get the variable declared error, which I couldn't fix it. Let me show you. Goes for the method. Let's say unrestricted methods. Is it? Yeah. Suppose let's go restricted methods, which is this. It shows the same this type of error, which I couldn't figure it out. Uh, if I show you. I've created a method class similar to the other classes. The script is first passed as a string and the variables are declared here, which is the private static, this one. Uh, the results are stored in the same directory when a method is called, which is denoted by uh, result. Not this. Yeah, variables method name, which is the stored value. The stored results are denoted by this line of code. Mm, so I'm checking this as a yes again. So this is it. This is my demo. I have not done anything additional. Nothing non-used, non-AI used, none, none. This is it. Thank you. This is my demo.